season of the witch is here, and that brings to us a bunch of opportunities to make a bunch of builds between reworked exotics, new aspects for our Strand subclass, and new exotics that honestly look really good and much better than the ones from last season. They have me very excited to be making these build videos alongside the new artifact perks, which are heavily based around this new elemental orb thing that Bungie's trying out. They look really cool. I'm going to do more builds with those later on in the future when I unlock more of them. But for now, today, we're going to be looking at the new Hunter Aspect Whirling Maelstrom. So if you want to keep seeing more, hit that subscribe button, like, and comment, as that helps out a ton. And let's have a quick word from our sponsor. What I'm going to be using with this build is going to be the newly reworked Foetracer, which comes with the perk Relentless Tracker that now reads: damaging a powerful combatant or guardian with an ability grants you a temporary bonus to weapon damage matching your subclass type. Defeating that target with a weapon matching the damage type of your subclass creates an elemental pickup. The damage bonus you get from this is a tier 4 surge bonus, meaning is a 25% bonus to your matching weapon types and lasts for 10 seconds inside of PvE. Since this is a tier 4 surge bonus, we cannot stack other surge bonuses of the same thing on it. So for example, we can't also run Strand Surge on our legs and get a higher bonus. This is the max and it does not stack. For the second part of this trait, when you defeat a target damaged by one of your abilities with that weapon that is matching your subclass, you're going to get that class's associated pickup, like in our case for this build is going to be Tangles. This makes the rework to Foetracer very good for playing into these builds that rely heavily on Tangles or the other class pickups like Fire Sprites, Ionic Traces, Void Breaches, and even Stasis Shards. I think that in a Stasis meta, this is going to be a really good option for our Stasis Hunters who really only have 1 or 2 good exotics to run with Stasis, but unfortunately we are still not in a Stasis meta for PvE, and that's really depressing. Moving on to weapons, any Strand weapon will work great, like the new Strand hand cannon from the season kept confidence, but when it came down to it for actually using this build for its maximum efficiency, I just went with the old tried and true Quicksilver Storm, which if you're unfamiliar with Quicksilver Storm, when shooting, it's going to launch missiles that will load grenades into the weapon that you can fire by using an alternate weapon action, and those grenades turn enemies into Tangles when they are defeated, which plays very well into this build as we want as many Tangles as we can to play into our subclass, which we're going to start with Widow's Silk, which simply gives us another grenade charge. Since I'm running shackle grenades, the grapple points don't particularly matter off of this, and we're going to be taking the new aspect Whirling Maelstrom. Destroying a Tangle will weave a violent, whirling mass of strand fibers. The strand mass seeks out and damages targets, emitting unraveling projectiles when it defeats them. This aspect is a ton of fun. When I got it the other day and I started using it, I had zero idea what this was going to be. I threw my first Tangle and it just turned into this Strand Beyblade that just tracked enemies and did some really good damage. And the tracking on this thing is no joke. It'll go from one target to another and they last for quite a long time, and the damage they do is also really surprising, and honestly this is probably my favorite aspect for my Strand Hunter. This is what I like to see in these newer aspects, as they give us a new way to use things that are already in our subclass kit. Moving on to fragments, we're going to start with Throat of Wisdom, where defeating suspended targets creates an orb of power. This is simple, just used to help with orb creation for our armor mods, and again I'm using shackle grenades even though suspend got a heavy nerf this season. Thread of Fury, damaging targets with a Tangle grants melee energy with a -10 to our strength. With the amount of Tangles we will be producing, our melee will come back very fast in combination with our dodge, which is very helpful, as we can tag multiple targets with our melee in order to get a Tangle from the debuff from the melee itself or from the added benefit of Foetracer. Thread of Continuity, suspend, unravel, and sever effects applied to targets have increased duration. We will have all 3 of the strand debuffs going on with this setup: suspend from our grenades, sever from our melee, and unravel from the Whirling Maelstrom. So with this fragment, all these will have increased duration, making them better for any of the situations you're going to use them in. And finally, we have Thread of Warding. Picking up an Orb of Power grants Woven Mail with a -10 to resilience. Woven Mail is extremely good and helpful in any content, as it gives you 60% damage reduction for the duration of the buff, and the timer can be reset just by picking up any other orb that is on the ground. For our artifact, I don't have it fully unlocked yet as we're only a few days into the season, but I already have it fully planned out for this build, and we're going to start with Solar Strand Combo Mod. You can honestly use the Arc or Void one depending on your weapon choice just to make orbs. We're going to take Thanatonic Tangles, Strand Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create a Tangle, Elemental Fury, Stun Champs take more damage from abilities or elemental orbs, Communal Pickups, when someone picks up or shoots our Tangle, the cooldown is going to be reduced by 5 seconds, and we gain bonus strand damage for 10 seconds. Refreshing Pickups, picking up a Tangle is going to give us energy to our least charge ability. Elemental Munitions, Tangle Final Blows have a chance to make special or heavy ammo, and Frenzied Stacks. When we have armor charged, our Tangles will do more damage. These all play very, very heavily into our entire setup of just getting Tangles, throwing them, dealing extra damage, making ammo. So it's going to play extremely, extremely well into this build and play really good into our armor mods. So starting with our helmet, we have the Solar and Strand Siphon mod for orbs, Dynamo for extra super when we dodge, and Font of Wisdom just for that extra 30 intellect when we have a stack of armor charge. Since we're going to be using frenzied stacks, we're already going to have decaying stacks, so we may as well just take the extra 30 intellect. On our arms, we're going to have heavy-handed impact induction for the extra orbs and the extra grenade energy. On our chest is going to be very simple, just charged up and our resist mods. On our legs, elemental charge, insulation, and better already to help us with getting our dodge back faster and getting some of our health back. Elemental charge here is really good because we're going to be picking up a ton of Tangles, and from my playing, it's been about 2 or 3 Tangles before we get a stack of armor charge, which is actually really good. For our cloak, we're going to run Powerful Attractor, Time Dilation, and Reaper. Powerful Attractor to pull those orbs, Time Dilation to make our decaying stacks last longer, and Reaper so that this way we can just dodge and make orbs, as it is literally one of the best orb generating mods in the game. For stats, mine could definitely be better. I'm going to want more mobility for more dodges, so this way I can make more orbs with Reaper, get my melee back better, and more discipline just to throw more shackle grenades, so this way things can stay suspended more often, even longer, make more Tangles, etc, etc. Overall, this build is a ton of fun. Like I said earlier, I had zero expectations for this new aspect. I had no idea what it was going to be, had no idea what the direction of it was going to be, but the fact that we can turn our Tangles into literal just Strand Beyblades is amazing, and so far has been one of my favorite ways to play with Strand throughout this entire year. Yeah, it's cool to grapple around and punch things, it's really cool to suspend things, but being able to take these class pickups and do something fundamentally different with them is really, really good. So with that, that is the end of our video. Probably a little shorter than most. I'm trying out to just simplify some things, make it a little better, and quite frankly, my throat hurts. So with that, please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. And it helps me out a ton as we're closing in on that 1,000 subs. So I'll see you guys in the next video.